فلله الحمد رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our very first class of Arabic 101, Volume 1. This here is the book. It says Arabic course. This is Volume 1. I want to tell you before we start the class how you can benefit most from this class. We have that this class is being recorded and is being taught at the same time. So even though you're not here with us, you should pretend like you are here with us. A lot of times we will read from the book. A lot of times I will explain certain things that are found in the exercises, and you have to follow along so that you can become like a student inside the class. Before we get into the book, I want to explain how the Arabic words are broken down in language. You have something known as al-kalam, which means speech or the speech. Okay? And al-kalam is going to be of three categories. Oh, look at that. The pen's working good now. Let me rewrite it. Okay? And these three categories are going to be making up all of the words in the Arabic language. You have something known as ismun, fi'lun, and harfun. Okay? All right. The first one that we're going to take is ismun. And ismun means it is a noun. Most of the time, for those of you that know a little bit of Arabic, you hear ism means name. That's correct. But in this context, it means noun. A noun could be something that is a person, place, or thing, but it can also be a pronoun as well when you say ismun. So I'm going to use the name Muhammad as just a regular name, right? Muhammadun is a pronoun. Also, you have pronouns that are like he, her, she, them. Those are considered pronouns in Arabic. They're called dama'ir. But for now, we're just going to put simply something like huwa, right? Hiya. It could be a place, like where we're at right now. It's in a mosque. We're going to say a masjid, masjidun. Okay? So that's in regards to an ism. And there's still a lot more categorizations under ism. Fi'lun is a verb. And a verb in the Arabic language has three categories. Madi, Mudari', and Amr. Madiyun, Mudari'un, Amrun. Past, present, and you would think what? For this last one, what would you think, Amir?
Future.
It's not future though. That's what you normally think, but it's actually a request or a command. And now the word harf, right? Or let me give an example for each one of these. A common word that we use is qara'a. Means he read. Yaqra'u. Right? And finally, iqra. Actually, it's without that. Okay? Harf literally means letter. But what it's referring to is that if it is not a fi'l and it is not an ism, it is a harf. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a letter, but it's talking about not in the category of fi'l and not in the category of ism. That makes up a harf. So something like min, to mean from, right? If you're going to ask a question, you have to put a hamza in front of the word, a alif hamza, right? And it's called the alif of inquiry, which is istifham. Okay? Something that is just like the letter lam, another harf jar added to the word, like lillah, for Allah. So that's considered a harf. So you can see here that there's a harf can be made up of two letters. It can be made up of just the one letters, just like here or there. Even though something like this translated in English can mean did, or are, or is. All right, let's dive into the book. You guys have any questions, or pretty much just making sense, right? Like we said, if you want to pay attention, you have to pretend like you're a student in the class. Because when we interact with the class, sometimes we might go off topic. Sometimes, you know, we will speak about something religious. You have to really follow along with the book and follow along with the conversations. Here is where we shall begin. Yeah, go ahead and hold that up. It says ad-darsul awwal. I hold it up so the class can see, really. It's not, you know, for the listeners, you guys are just going to have to, I'll read out the page and then you guys can follow along like that. We're on page 5, right? And I will start to include Arabic words so that you guys can start to understand Arabic. All right. Because normally when you teach a new language, you're supposed to only teach in that language that you are, you know, trying to teach. الدرس الأول. ما معنى الدرس الأول?
The first lesson.
So الدرس الأول at the top of the page is the first lesson. We point to this object here, and when you point at something, you're going to say this. And how do you say this in the Arabic language? You say هذا. All right? هذا بيت. هذا مسجد. هذا باب. هذا كتاب. هذا قلم. هذا مفتاح. هذا مكتب. هذا سرير. And هذا كرسي. Did you guys notice that they all ended in what? We're going to look at two things. They ended in tanween, which is a dhamma. Not the tanween is a dhamma, but the one tanween that they ended with was a dhamma. Here we go. We're going to look at two things. The first one, go to the top where it says هذا بيت. We're going to break down هذا, and we're going to break down baytun. Well, baytun doesn't need any breaking down, but we can see what's in there. This is a house. When you translate this word for word, it means this, and this is just house, or a house. Excuse me. Now, how do we know this says a house when there's not an a here? There's no alif there, right? This is the benefit of seeing tanween at the end of the word. If you see tanween at the end of the word, it means it is not specified, right? And it is indefinite. And that it's talking about a person, a house, a car, even though there's no letter there. That's what that tanween is identifying for you. So, when I say هذا, I'm actually saying this is a house. We don't have is in the Arabic language, where we need to require it separately. Just saying هذا بيت is already saying this is a house.
So the tanween makes that A.
The tanween?
Then it's just a house.
That's correct. The tanween makes that A. The original state of all words is ending with a dhammatain or a dhamma. That state is called marfu'un. Marfu'un, right, means that it's going to end with a dhammatain or dhamma for now. And in the Arabic, language, there's always exceptions, and there's always other things that are going to be outside of the rules. So for now, if you see dhammatain at the end of a word or a dhamma, what are you going to say that it is? Marfu'. It's in the nominative state. I'm just going to put down here, ends with dhamma. Ends with a dhamma. Or dhammatain, two dhammas. That's another thing you're going to probably have to know. Like, you can't benefit from this class until you know how to read. If you don't know how to read Arabic, and you don't know how to identify letters when they're combined, or you don't know how to identify the harakat, or what that word even means, if you want to benefit from this class, go learn that. Go learn how to read, go learn the harakat. It's different from understanding Arabic. And be familiar with, those simple rules of reading. All right, هذا, we didn't break this down. It's made up of two things. And you guys ever notice that there's like a small alif here? And sometimes there is no alif. Like when you're reading the Quran, it's sometimes there, sometimes not there. Well, it really is there. But because it's so known, people don't write it. But technically, it is like this. Ha, tha. This part here is used to get the person's attention. Ha. Right? Just like you see in the Quran when they call out the people that get their book with their right hand, people get their book with their left hand. What do they say? Ha umuqra'u kitabiya. See that ha? So get that person's attention. It's like saying, hey. That's what ha is for. Now we get to the second part. Tha. This is this. Tha is this. And when we get to dhalika, you're going to see also tha. It's got this there. But then there's other letters added, and we learn when we add those letters together what it does. هذا بيت. This is a house. Let's move along now. Go ahead and turn the page actually to page 6. We read all of those things, and there's images for each one. And we're going to try to get to the end of the chapter. All right? We learn about ma. Ma, is it going to be a ism, fi'l, or harf? Is it a noun?
No.
It's not a noun. Is it a verb?
No.
What does it make it?
It's a harf.
It's only a harf. That's how you need to categorize things, so you need to know for sure. You're like, what does ma mean? Ma is actually you saying, what? Ma means what? So if you ever hear me say Ma ma'na. What is the meaning of? And then I'll say baytun. What is the meaning of bayt? You say house. All right. Ma means what? ما هذا؟ هذا بيت. أهذا بيت؟ نعم هذا بيت. There's some new words there. أهذا بيت. So if ma means what? Al-istifham, alif of istifham, alif of inquiry, right? Or inquiry, means is or are. Could even mean did, actually. Look at that. Just this one letter, Arabic language. It can mean did, like if I say ذهب, did he go, right? For is, like we have here, أهذا بيت, is this a house? So هذا is this, is you saying is, and then بيت, a house. And for are, like أذهبتم or أتذهبون, are you all going, right? But we'll get to that when we get to it. And then he answered نعم. نعم is the Arabic word for?
Yes.
Yes. هذا بيت. Next one. ما هذا? Go ahead and read that, Amir.
هذا قميص.
هذا قميص. This is a shirt, right? And we know qamis to mean the long thobe that people are accustomed to. Either one is called qamis. Billand.
هذا سرير.
Does he say هذا or
هذا
هذا سرير? There's a big difference, right? One, he's making a statement. The other, he's asking a question. هذا سرير. What did he answer?
لا هذا كرسي.
Good. لا هذا كرسي. لا, no, that's not a bed. That's a chair, right? Something. If you get in chairs and beds, confused. Maybe it's an advanced type of chair, like a futon or something. Or it's like, hey, is this a bed? No. La, you know, laysa sarirun. That's the word I was telling you earlier. Laysa. Yeah. Let's continue. Go ahead, Amir, one more time.
هذا مفتاح.
Okay. أهذا مفتاح. What does he say?
Is this a
Read the next line, and then we'll translate both of them.
لا هذا قلم.
هذا قلم. أهذا مفتاح?
Is this a key?
Is this a key? It says لا هذا قلم. Again, something's going on. What kind of student, what kind of person are you? You can't identify key from pen. But you know, they're just trying to get you to ask the question. They're not really being literal about it. We'll have, you know, poke fun at it, but really, it's a really good book to take. And then I'll read this next one. ما هذا هذا نجم. Is a picture of what?
Star.
What is this? It's a star. Tamreen. Tamreen is the Arabic word for
Exercise.
exercise. And the plural is tamareen. Tamreen, tamareen. So what they're asking of you here, with all these images, you know, is to identify the teacher, or the left or the right side will say ma hada, and you're supposed to say hada and then answer with the picture. So you say ma hada, hada miftahun, hada kitabun, hada qalamun, hada babun,
هذا بيت.
hada baytun, and lastly,
هذا كرسي.
let's keep moving. التمرين الثاني. Remember we took الدرس الأول, right? The first lesson. So I'm saying التمرين, the exercise. I'm not saying أول anymore. I'm saying ثاني, which means the second تمرين, the second exercise. أهذا بيت.
Is this a house?
How would you answer, Billand?
لا هذا مسجد.
Yeah, but it's technically a house of Allah.
Oh.
Trick question. So it's, you can answer yes or no. With this one, it says, أهذا بيت. Is this a house? You say, هذا بيت الله. The house of Allah. Or you'd say, نعم هذا بيت الله. Or you'd say, لا هذا مسجد. Yeah, so kind of a trick question there. أهذا مفتاح. What do you say?
لا هذا قلم.
Yeah, لا هذا قلم. أهذا قميص. What do you answer?
نعم هذا قميص.
And remember, if you're following along for our online viewers, I'm not going to always repeat something, so just go to the next thing that we're doing. So if you notice, I said, أهذا قميص, you're supposed to follow along and give me the answer. Right? Okay. أهذا قميص, what did you say?
نعم هذا قميص.
نعم هذا قميص. Amir. أهذا نجم.
نعم هذا نجم.
نعم هذا نجم. التمرين الثالث. We're moving along swiftly now. All right. اقرأ واكتب. اقرأ, like we took earlier, read. واكتب,
Right.
write. It's telling you. اقرأ, you read, and you write. هذا مكتب. Right? مكتب is a new word. It means desk. هذا مسجد. This is a masjid. هذا قلم. And if you're following along and you don't know the harakas as I'm saying it, go ahead and put the harakas there so you can go back and look at it later. هذا سرير. This is a bed. ما هذا. What is this? هذا كرسي. This is a chair. أهذا بيت. Is this a house? لا هذا مسجد. ما هذا. هذا مفتاح. What is this? This is a key. We get to the next section, and it's also a harf, right? And it's also used for questioning, and it's called man, for who? من هذا. And it's used for female and male. من هذا. هذا طبيب. ما معنى طبيب?
Doctor.
Doctor. من هذا. هذا ولد.
The boy.
The boy. So, يا ولد. Hey boy. من هذا. هذا طالب. Bottom right picture.
The student.
The student. أهذا ولد. لا. هذا رجل. Is this a boy? There's no, this is a man. Turn to page 9. ما هذا. هذا مسجد. Or I'm sorry, page 10. We were on 9, turn to 10. ما هذا. أهذا مسجد. What is this? Is this a masjid? Then you would answer نعم or لا. Yes or no. من هذا. هذا تاجر. We got a new word there. Right? What's the meaning of tajir?
Businessman.
Businessman, merchant, trader. Right? With a D. Not T-A-R. I'm sorry, yeah. T-R-A-I-T-O-R. Not trader as in, you know, betraying his country. Trader as in he's trading. The picture, the second picture now. هذا كلب. Right? That's a dog. أهذا كلب. لا هذا قط. What is that a picture of?
Is this it's a cat?
It's a cat.
It's a cat. Is this a dog? That's what he said. أهذا. Is this كلب? Is this a dog? He said لا هذا قط. هذا حمار. Right? And then he says أهذا حمار. لا هذا حصان. What's a حمار?
Donkey.
Donkey. And I told you guys this before. Remember, like calling somebody a donkey in Arabic is bad. You call somebody, hey, ya himarun. It's just degrading. Like even in English is degrading, but you know they use so much more worse, or words that are so much more worse. That donkey is not that big a deal. But when you call somebody donkey or kalb in the Arabic language, it's really bad. It's not a good thing. You don't go up to them and say, hey, what's up, my dog? You can't say, hey, what's up, my kalb. It's really bad. Call somebody, you know, a kalb.
You're already learning bad words.
Yeah, that's the, you know, that's what you always do in learning a language. Always the bad words you learn first. But they're not in, you know, we're not using them in a bad way. You can say himarun is donkey and kalbun is, you know, dog. He says, ahada himarun, is this a donkey? La, hada hisanun. Right? What's a hisan?
Horse.
Horse. Wama hada? Hada jamalun. What's a jamal?
Camel.
A camel. Hada, ma hada. At the top of the page, page 11. Hada.
Why did they say wama? Wa means?
Oh, very good. So when they add wow, right, it just means and. So they're asking you, what is this and what is that? So if I say ma hada, what is this? Wa ma hada, and what is, you know, what is this? So top of page 11, ma hada, hada dikun, right? And dik means rooster. Man hada? Hada mudarrisun, right? Who is this? He is a mudarris. Remember we took at the beginning ad-darsul awwal. Ad-dars. It's similar to mudarris. Ad-darsu. I'm going to erase this here. Mudarrisun. And sometimes, like I remember before, we also mentioned kasra can be under this shadda. It doesn't have to be down here for it to be kasra. If the shadda is there, you could put it down here, or you could put it underneath the little w there, also known as shadda. So you see some similarities. Dal, ra, sin, dal, ra, sin. And to make it into the person who does that, mudarrisun. All right, it takes on a different form, but the letters are still shared.
So it's teacher or
Yeah, so he says, who is this? He said, this is a teacher. A dars is lesson. Ahada qamisun? Is this a qamis? He says, no. Hada mindilun. Right?
It's a kerchief.
Yeah, it's a kerchief, a handkerchief. He says, is this a qamis? Is this like, you know, a shirt? He says, no, it's a kerchief. It's a handkerchief. Iqra waktub, read and write. And this is where we get to the conclusion of our lesson. Now, I would say that, you know, we kind of went through this lesson a little bit fast. And it'd be beneficial if we go through these little by little. But I'm going to go ahead and just ask you guys to read this at home, come back the next day, and that's where we're going to begin from. So this will be your homework. That last tamreen on the page 11, just go ahead and read everything that we took, and you're going to find that most of it is in there. The pointing, the answering, asking a question. And inshallah ta'ala, you'll find that the next classes that we have, they're going to be a little bit longer. They're going to be with more descriptions. So just bear with us for this first class, and you'll see Arabic will get easier as you go along. Don't forget why you're learning Arabic. Your goal, especially for Arabic, should not be monetary. Your goal for Arabic should be to learn the language of the Quran. You cannot stand and pray unless you know, you could stand and pray, but you won't understand what's being recited. Every time you pray in Salah, it's always Arabic. It's always going to be like that. So you have to say, I need to learn so I can understand what's being recited. In Taraweeh, in Tahajjud, in Fajr, in Dhuhr, in any prayer, right? Also to understand the Arabic language so you can understand Islam properly. There's absolutely no way you can understand Islam unless you understand Arabic. And even then, just because you understand Arabic by itself doesn't mean you know about Islam now. You have to have studied it. You have to have taken it from a scholar and learned from that scholar. You can't just open up a book and say, I'm now going to be a sheikh because I've read from cover to cover. You can't tell me I read the Quran 25 times and now that makes you an expert of Quran. So I'm just telling you the steps to understanding Islam. You need the Arabic language. But relying on the Arabic language alone is not sufficient for you to become one who issues fatwas or verdicts or rulings. It's not enough that you know Arabic to, say I can now understand everything being taught in Arabic. I'm sorry, not everything being taught in Arabic, everything being taught in Islam. But what it will help you is to, when you hear a hadith, it now has an effect on you. When you hear an ayah, it now has an effect on you because you understand its general meaning, right? And that's what your drive should be. Every time you're tired, I need to understand the Quran. I'm going to go into class. Every time you feel like I can't make it, or the class is too long, or it's not as motivating, or the teacher's not as exciting, doesn't matter. There's other channels. You don't like it, you can check out channels. There's plenty of teachers out there. But this is our class. This is what we're teaching. Everyone is welcome. It's free of charge. So make sure you remind yourself as to why you're learning, so that you can benefit and you can, inshallah, have a better understanding of the Quran. You had a question, or?
Where can we buy this book? Can you put the link?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and this book, you can find it on Amazon, by the way. You can find it online as a PDF, or you can order it from Amazon.
I'll put the link.
Good. Yeah, we'll have the editor go ahead and put it inside the link, and inshallah we'll see you next time. Barakallah feekum wa jazakumullah khair. Yeah.